welcome. We are the Thrive Tribe, and here we have getting into the weekend, rolling into the weekend with Rollin. I wanna say what's up, guys. How you guys doing today?
What up?
Chilling, chilling.
This is like the chaos right here. This is like the calm before the storm. So some through today in this episode, and I don't even know what's gonna happen. Yo, you feeling okay, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sick, but I'm
You
feeling
good?
good. Yep. I'm a
Did you take a
trooper.
shot of Grandpa's cough medicine?
Shit, probably.
You should. I think you should. That's like the answer to life right there. That's why our grandparents and our parents live to be so, to the age that they are.
Well, you remember like back in the days. I mean, I think off air, CMA was talking about this, but back in the days, everything was Vicks growing up. like Vicks could cure cancer
Yeah,
if you
Yeah,
put it on.
it's in
I'm
this
telling
and a little spoonful of castor oil that never did us wrong. We were cured the
Yep.
next day.
you.
You have a bellyache? Okay, here you go. Castor oil.
No,
You
you
have
know what
a
was the
you have a fever? Here's some Vicks. You
you
hungover?
know
Here's some Vicks and castor oil.
you know what was the worst though? Like if you had a fever, my mom, I don't know if any other family did this, but they would just strip off my clothes and put a bunch of rubbing alcohol on me. I would shiver. Shiver, just like freezing in freaking rubbing alcohol. I don't know why they thought rubbing alcohol would do anything, but
I
apparently,
never heard of that, but
yeah.
Hold you down. Duh.
They could have easily done that with water. Why rubbing alcohol?
I don't know. It's an
uh,
antiseptic too. Who knows?
it's weird.
You
I remember being sick as a kid though. Like my mom would come with the Vicks and she'll like put it all the way up in my nose. Like it wasn't just like
Yep.
the rim, like how most kids you'll see or parents you'll see them now put it like on the rim, like
hmm
right outside the nostrils. Now my mom took it and she like swear she was trying to pick a booger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they go all in
Yeah.
there.
Oh man, my eyes burned for like a week.
The sun, I think the sun really does something that does help, and I think having some of that vitamin D. I think same thing in Texas. I think
My home state.
my one Texan that's here can attest to that.
Yeah, I got you. Let me know, y'all.
Me.
True Texan, not the one that was
That's, that's me.
in Alaska.
Hey,
Uh,
now, hold on. Let's not
Ala-
disrespect. Christina, you were in Alaska? That's so weird.
Never been. Yeah.
So peculiar that he's saying that. I mean, he's just now talking
Talk about
shit. Now he's
polar
talking
opposite, right? Christina's in Texas, the hot state, and then you're in the limited light state over there,
Yep.
all cold.
I'll tell you what though, you're absolutely right though with that with the sunlight,
Hmm.
that it plays a huge role because the Alaska has the highest depression rate.
Hmm.
Especially in the winter because the winter is like so long. They last so long over there. It's usually so dark, and like their depression is like through the roof. It's
Hmm.
terrible. It's terrible. So you have to get vitamin D supplement. They give you vitamin D supplements whenever you go in there, whenever you land and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's one of the first things that they do. They give you a vitamin D supplement and something else. I don't remember what the other thing is, but yeah. So that vitamin D is from the sun is definitely something that'll help you if you need it. When it comes to these illnesses and ailments.
I tell you one thing, I experienced it firsthand, and listen, for everybody out there, I finally came back from vacation after 2.5 weeks, and I know there's some bones I have to pick, but I will pick them
Boo,
as
boo.
we go along.
Don't
Okay.
worry, you're
Waiting
already
for this.
replaced.
I was waiting for
You're
this.
already replaced. We're good.
So, anyways, no, but I was down in Florida, and when I was here in New York, like I don't know, there was just something different. Like I was tired. I was always, and I noticed at one point I told my wife, I said, I think I need to go out more. I need to be out in the sun, walk the dog a little bit more, stay outside a little bit more. I did feel a difference then, right? That my energy level was up. But when I went down to Florida and I was constantly in the sun, and I'm talking about like beaming sun, um, it just hit different. Like I would go to sleep late and wake up early in the morning with a ton of energy. And I could only attribute that to like the vitamin D that I got from the sun. So I really believe that there is healing in the sun.
There is. There is. It's been scientifically proven, actually. So,
Yeah.
good job.
So all right. So I will tell a little bit of a story.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
You know, it would not be a Thrive episode if we did not get a quote or a
Shut
story.
up, all right?
You know, so you know what? Listen, the floor is yours. If I can invite Chris back onto the episode while you're here, I think that Christina and I would not get any words in.
Listen, shout out to Chris FM for filling in for me.
Sit there quoting each other.
Chris,
Quoting each other, telling stories, just running your mouths, and then me and Christina just sit there like doop-a-doop-a-doo.
listen, shout out to Chris FM. He did a
The real
great
Texans in the
job.
house, Christina. I got you. We're
He
here.
did a great job filling in for me, and I listened to that episode, and I'm like, man, he hit all my points. He said some quotes. He went and he interrupted Christina every once in a while. Like it was go time. Like I need to get him a hat.
He definitely did some hot starring. Yeah, though some banter. He had
Yeah.
quotes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
thought he
thinking.
never left.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
thinking.
Modern Cavemen did good.
Modern Caveman number 2.
2.0.
Ho. I'm 2.0, 3.0, 5.0, whatever it is.
Whoa. Man, somebody's feeling. You came out your shell, dude. Look at you.
All right, so
You came out your shell today.
listen, okay. So I remember when I was about 20, 21 years old, when I was a youth pastor, I went to this
That was a long time ago.
yeah, a long time ago. I went to this preachers conference, and it was boring. It was so boring. There was so many preachers, and after a while, I'm like looking at the thing, and I'm like, all right, I've heard enough Jesus for the day. Let me get out of here. But this one woman comes up. I don't remember her entire sermon, but I remember one thing that she said. Right? She talks about the eagle, and she says, the eagle is the most powerful bird in the sky, and the eagle will fly to the mountaintops and will fly and dominate the skies. But there comes a point in every eagle's life cycle, and it may happen a couple of times, where they will go through something called a molting process. And during that time, they go from the mountaintops and into the valley. Now, the valley is where the eagle, where they were once predators, are now vulnerable to become prey. But what the eagle does, even knowing when that it is in the most dangerous positions of its life, what the eagle does is that it sits on a rock, and day in and day out, it will open up its wings and watch the sun rise and just take in the vitamin D from the sun. And over days and weeks, the vitamin D from the sun will strengthen the eagle's wings, and it will begin to grow its feathers back. And not only would the eagle be able to hit the mountaintops, but it can go above the clouds. And so the moral of the story is find that thing, that rock to stand on. Find that thing to sit on. Find that thing that is going to that you can ground yourself in, and take in that sun. You know, in reference to to what she was talking about. Obviously, it was taking, you know, the Holy Spirit, taking Christ into your life. But you can apply that to anything. Take in, you know, the things that are going to pour value into your life, that's going to strengthen you. And, you know, you may have those mountaintop experiences, and sometimes you're going to hit the valley where you are going to experience the failure. You're going to experience being vulnerable. You're going to experience being in the valley of the shadow of death, where everything seems like it's going to be dangerous. And all you have to do is ground yourself on the rock and pour in that value, and you will rise again higher than you ever did before, being the predator that you were always meant to be. And that's my word for today.
Dang. That was powerful.
Listen, I don't think this is going to be a Friday episode, y'all. I think this is going to be a Monday. We're going to move it on.
That was
Change
a modern
the topic,
caveman
switching
Monday.
gears. Speaking of porn, let me go grab a drink.
Church songs I need to sing right now.
You know, it's crazy that you say all that though, because like it reminded me of a video that I saw not too long ago about eagles. Oddly enough, involving eagles, and I think I shared it with you guys. And you know, it basically was talking about how the eagle would, in the process of getting food, every now and then will get attacked by a crow. And crows are vicious. Crows can be ruthless as hell, you know. But what the eagle does is, even though it has a fucking crow on its back, this flies all the way up as high as he could possibly go, because he knows that that crow cannot keep up with him. That crow cannot fly at those same altitudes that he can fly at. So what he does is he takes him up there to his altitudes and lets him fall off because he can't keep up with him. So be a eagle, y'all. That's what we're saying today. Be a fucking eagle. Go into this weekend and then just be an eagle. Soar like a if you got any crows on your back,
They
can't keep up with you.
Christina, throw something in there. We already
Yeah,
preached
let's
right
do
now.
it.
Come
Now,
on. Let's
you
do
know,
it.
amen. Now we're in preaching mode, you know. Hallelujah. Amen.
Man, how do I follow that? You both are on fire tonight.
Listen, it's not like that. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
I like that analogy though. I saw that video. I think you sent it to us. I think that's
I did
an
send it to
awesome
you.
one. Yeah. It's
I
an
said
awesome
that.
analogy.
I said that I sent it to you. Way to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you take them up to the heights that you cannot keep up with them in, and they fall off.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is sit on that rock and make sure that these people, this guy over here, like, you know, he's not trying to bring you back down to the valley.
You go be a pro somewhere else.
You know, we can mesh those two messages together, and you know,
we can.
Maybe the crow just miscommunicated with the eagle. You know, maybe there was some miscommunication.
Wow.
Shut it out, you know, and they need to have a talk later. And...
Yeah. Well, good thing it's crazy though, because eagles are not group effort. They don't do group efforts, but crows do. Crows hunt in packs. So.
Are you making that shit up, ladies and gentlemen? No. You gotta fact check them right there.
You know what? I got my phone right in front of me.
The eagle was lonely and was just shooting his shot for this one chance in a lifetime to talk to the eagle and let him invite him to the crow crew. You know, that's be fun.
You know what? Listen. That does like beg a question though. Like, have any of you ever been in that position where like you have these mountaintop experiences? And then you find yourself like, yes, I'm winning. Then suddenly you're down, and it's like back to where you began, right at the tip of the mountain, like at the bottom of the mountain rather. Like, have you ever felt that before? Like what goes through your mind when it happens?
Go ahead, Christina. You got this.
Can I be completely wrong candid right now?
Yeah, go right ahead.
You listen. It wouldn't be the podcast if you wouldn't.
My last group post. I was like, I was ready to share something so important and so exciting, and then I was just brought down to the earth, the cold dirt earth, and I was like, all right, I'm going to save it for another day. That doesn't bring me down. You know, there's always tomorrow. Sun comes up tomorrow.
The sun will be out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that.
Wow. To answer your question, yes. I've been on the mountaintops and brought down. And I didn't stay down very, too long because I know better. It's just a season, so.
What about you?
All the time, dude. That happens to me a lot. Like, you know me. I get super excited about something and I'm like not thinking it through. I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to work. It doesn't work that way. I'm like, Boo.
Gotta start all over again.
Well, the situation happened back in March at my job, so I was doing amazing. Like, I was pretty much the top performer. I was like one of two, top performers at my job, and I'm sitting there, feeling great. Next thing you know, the incident happens. I'm like, well, here we go.
Yeah. It just brings you back down.
Yeah, it brings you down. But it brings you, what it does, though, really, a lot of times what those things do, they put you back in reality and they put things in perspective for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know how many times that you guys have been through things like that and you realize that this job probably isn't for me anymore. This is not serving a purpose for me anymore. This is not doing what I thought it would do for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I wanted initially. So although your intentions could be as pure as day, as pure as light and everything like that, it doesn't always pan out that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be some kind of interruption. There's always going to be something kind of blocking your way. There's always going to be a hurdle, something for you to jump over or go around or do whatever it is that you got to do to get to your next point, to get to your next position. And those are the times that those happen, right? That's when those things come in, because those are meant to open your eyes. Those situations are meant to help you realize, you know what, this is not where I need to be. There's so much more for me. There's so much better out there for me. And if this what it takes for me to realize that, then I'm going to move on from this. And those are the moments. Those are those I guess seashell moments. We use seashell moments for times with our kids and stuff like that, but seashell moments are also pivotal points in your life where you can realize this was a really, really important time. There's something really impactful happened here. And this is what I'm going to remember. I'm not going to remember that person that told me no, that I can't be here. I'm not going to remember the person that said, look, you can't eat that steak because you have to have a certain shirt on to eat that steak. Like all those things, you'll never remember them. But what you will remember is eating that steak in the place that you were told that you can't be at. So those are the moments right there. Those are the things that you need to bank on and look forward to, because that's what I look forward to all the time. Every time I run into one of these roadblocks and one of those moments, I just feel it. I feel it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't belong there, but I belong somewhere better. And then at that better place, I'm sitting there from my fucking rooftop steakhouse, looking down at that place that kicked me out.
And that's you finding your rock. That's you like grounding yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that I think a lot of people have, is that they often don't find their rock. They often, don't ground themselves, and what they end up having happen to them is that they end up in the valley, deep in the valley, where the crows are, and the crows are pecking at their backs, and they allow the crows to keep them where they want them to be.
Yeah.
And they forget.
It's so easy to do that, though.
Yeah.
It's easy as hell to do that. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to grow. Growth is uncomfortable. And that's what people don't understand. That's what people don't talk about. Growth is uncomfortable. Whenever you're growing, whenever you're in that place of growth and realization and all that other fun stuff, it's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to hurt.
Yeah.
It's meant to hurt. Those are lessons that you need to learn.
I'm glad you said that, because I think when we talk about like the molting process for the eagle, that's got to be painful. I mean, it's got to be painful to fly at mountaintops and then suddenly feel weak, and then suddenly feel like parts of yourself are just disintegrating. It has to feel difficult to wake up every morning and stand on your rock and raise your wings that you don't have the strength to raise anymore, and wonder, and if that sun is actually going to be providing some kind of nutrition to yourself. It has to be difficult. It has to be painful. And what people don't really understand is that pain is necessary. That pain is necessary. You have to go through that moment where you're gonna you gotta disintegrate a little bit, so that way when you rise back up, you can rise into the higher levels, the levels that the crows can follow you at. And I think so many people don't get to that point because yes, it is painful. And so they decide instead of sitting on the rock, because the rock is a very lonely place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very lonely place. And you're trusting in the unknown. You don't know what that sun is going to provide. You don't know if the sun is going to even rise, whether there's going to be a cloud in the way, but you're going to stand there anyway. That's a very difficult thing. And here's the thing. Most eagles do not survive that process. But it's the eagle that stands on the rock. So which eagle are you going to be? Which eagle are you going to decide to be today when everybody else is saying, "Hey, that nothing is working for me." This thing isn't happening. I keep losing. You know what? I'll just stay in the valley. That's where I belong. I'll stay with the wolves and the crows, because that's where I've been subjected to. Or are you going to find the rock? It makes me think about what we always talk about as far as life. Everything in life is temporary. I remember listening to Tom Hanks. You guys probably seen this clip, but it was a Oscars roundtable, and there's a bunch of like actors that were nominated in the same category as him. And they asked him, what is the one thing that you wish that you would have known in your younger years? And he said, this too shall pass. He said, you're winning. You feel good.
Mm-hmm.
This too shall pass. You're losing. You're failing. You lost a loved one. You lost the love of your life. This too shall pass. You're feeling strong. You're feeling invincible. Everything's going right. This too shall pass. Everything in life is temporary, even the good and the bad. If you can learn how to survive in the midst of it and thrive throughout it, then you're winning.
Yeah. That's deep. Christina, what you got?
Man, that was beautifully said, Gil. Welcome back, by the way. Did I tell you that?
No,
I think the medicine kicks in.
I think that, life, you're going to find your stone, and you're going to hang out for a while, and you're going to get comfortable, and, you're going to be on that, high on life kind of feeling, and you're going to think that you want to build a wall around your rock to protect it. But the thing is, that wall's going to be broken down so many times. You can't get comfortable. Nothing is ever easy. Things come and go, just like Gil said, things are just temporary. We know that life is a roller coaster. We know good things are coming. We know that sometimes, we go through bad things. But with knowing that, why would you start to give up? Why would you start to get comfortable and stay in a place where you know that you can grow? Because you don't know what's going to happen. You have to know that you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep growing, because why stay on that rock with the wall built around you if you can't see the sun? The sun is always moving. The sun rises, the sun sets. So you have to always just, stay on the one rock for a little while, do the very best that you can, grow all that you can. But the moment you start to feel comfortable, when it starts to feel easy, you should know already that something's going to change that. You're going to have to be strong and get through that and just move to the next rock. There's always going to be another rock. Stop staying on the same rock.
Yeah,
For
I like
sure.
that.
Yeah. You see, and you over here wondering how you could keep up with us. You just surpassed us both.
Me?
Yeah, you. Who else? I wouldn't be talking to him. I would not give him credit like this.
I don't know. You guys motivate me. You like to share, and I just started thinking of things. I was like, man, deep.
I like that though.
I do too. I mean, that's the beauty about a team, right? You know, like if you have people on your team that don't motivate you, then they shouldn't be a part of your team. You know, like if there's ever a point, so there's going to be points and times where, allow me to clarify, there's going to be points and times where the people on your team aren't going to really motivate you too much, right? Whether they have their own thing going on, whether they're being motivated by you, whatever the case may be, that's okay. But as long as it's a mutual thing where you guys end up motivating each other at the long run, right? But if there's somebody on your team that doesn't motivate you at all, that person does not need to be on your team. They're just weighing you down, you know? Like we kept talking about this episode, those rocks to stand on, you know, but there's also those rocks that drag you down. You know, there's also those rocks that keep you down. Like don't allow any of these rocks to hold you down either. You know, you are destined, and that's not just for us here, but this is for the listeners too. You know, you're destined for so much more. You're destined for so many things, so many great, beautiful, and powerful things. And a lot of the times we block our own blessings. You know, I don't know how many times I've heard it, and I have to hear it constantly. Dude, you're blocking your blessing. You're blocking your blessing. But I'm just as stubborn as they come, and that's how it is for me. But just because that's my reality doesn't mean it has to be yours. You know, like just keep pushing, look forward, and to the people that are around you, look forward to that. You know, they motivate you, keep them in your circle. They don't motivate you. If they're a rock holding you down, cut sling load, let them go. You know, it's okay to grow. It's okay to grow. If they're meant to be in your life, they'll be back. They will be back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, sometimes there's a common saying, right? There's some people are there for a reason, and then there's people there for a season. And you know, I think it's hard for us to wrap our minds around the fact that there are people that are going to be there for seasons. There are going to be people who are just going to be there to get you to the altitudes that you need to be at and no further. I remember seeing that early on when I was a teenager, and I had to make choices about cutting out certain people from my life. And that was hard because I like, you know, once you get comfortable with people, it's like, you know, this is now my reality.
Yeah. You know too much. You can't go nowhere.
Look who's still behind. No, I mean, you feel like that's your reality. And the truth is that the people closest to you are going to shape your reality. They are going to contribute to what your reality looks like. So if you want to have a higher reality, if you want to have a higher perspective, you got to surround yourself with people who are going to not only be able to see the things that you can't see right now, but B, also be able to push you into the unknown, into the places that you don't even believe that you can be in right now. And so that's so key. I think we have that here in the Thrive Tribe. And I think the community that we're building, slowly but surely, they're all realizing that as well.
Everyone plays a crucial role. You know, there's not anybody in the community that really doesn't play a crucial role in the development of the Thrive Tribe. You know, they are a part of it. You know, we're a part of it. And I'm just happy. I'm happy to be where we are. You know, what you got, Christina?
Just here recently in the past few weeks or so, I found myself really jumping off the deep end. And you guys have been right there with me, and it's never been like, oh, I don't know, Rockstar, like that doesn't sound like a good idea. It's always been like, go for it, you got this, just do it. And that really has inspired me into finding that next rock. Like I found this one rock that I'm climbing up slowly, but having you guys there to kind of helped me go up this rock has been so awesome. And it's been scary. It's been crazy. It's things that I never thought I would see myself doing. So I just had to share that, because some of the things in life are scary because you don't know what's going to happen. And it's nice to kind of jump into things without thinking and just hoping for the best. And it's been great, and I still feel like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? But it's all good things, If I wouldn't have jumped off the deep end, like I wouldn't have known what I was truly capable of. So be fearless. You don't know what's going to happen. Take that risk. It's worth it. Even if it's something that may end up being negative, you're still learning from it. You're still going to grow as a person. And, oh wow, dust it off, and then you're going to, move on to the next thing. But you just gotta do it. Jump off the deep end. What can it hurt?
For real. I mean, really, you got to come to a point where you got to ask yourself, what do I have to lose? Is this risk worth this reward? What can I gain from this? Right. So when we merged all three podcasts, all three entities into one, that was one of the things that I really was going back and forth on. Like, I was always questioning myself, like, is this going to be better? Is this going to be worse? What's the risk? What's the outcome? What's the most likely scenario? What's going to happen? And I kept asking me these questions. I kept asking myself all these questions. I kept on doing it. And then you guys know more than anybody how much I fought and I resisted this, only because I was in that mindset. Like, I was in that mode, where is this going to take us? But eventually it came to the point where I touched back with my roots and I understood, I never made it anywhere without just doing something and not really thinking too much about it. So that's just been how I am. That's just been how I've been operating and how I've been for the past umpteenth years. I just ended up doing things, and if they worked out, great. If they didn't work out, then okay, that's okay too. There's always another opportunity somewhere down the line. Yeah. So here we are, the Thrive Tribe, doing amazing things at that, and inspiring people. And people are inspiring us. Believe it or not, I don't know, I can't speak for you guys, but whenever I hear feedback, that motivates me and inspires me so much about, our podcast, about our community, about the things that we do and all that stuff. That motivates me. That picks me up. That usually gets my endorphins going. So, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you too. And I appreciate the listeners. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in and, constantly giving feedback and telling us what's what. Because without you guys listening, we wouldn't know what we're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, especially to those also who are not just receiving the value, but also spreading it as well. There's a lot of people out there that are sharing this podcast to people that really need to hear it. So we appreciate you. This community is growing. Something that you were saying, Christina, taking it to back to the analogy with the eagle, I think about if there's anything that people should know about an eagle when the eagle is born, is the mama eagle will come and feed the eagle time in and time out. We'll go hunting, and do that time in and time out. Now, usually the eagle's nest is somewhere high in the mountain or something like that, right? And the eagle will come back day in, day out with food. There comes a point in the young eagle's life where the mother says it's time for you to fly. And it's time for you to join this world that I'm a part of. And it's a very scary process, because what the mama eagle does is it begins to push the baby eagles off the ledge. It pushes them out of the nest. Now the eagle has to decide on this way down whether it wants to survive or if it wants to thrive. And it will open up its wings by natural instinct, and it will begin to fly. And then at that point, after flapping his wings a couple of times, then it hits the heights that where it needs to be, where it needs to thrive. And so, you know, we often talk about you know, just jumping into it. You know, there was so many, like when we started this podcast, you know, we were like the little eagles in the in the nest. And I love to see where you, Christina, have grown so much in, because I can see you being nudged out of the nest and you soaring to the sky. And, you know, I know you can see that for yourself as well, and I see that for all of us in our own ways, and whatever flights that we take, we are all finding, you know, different ways to reach the skies. And don't be afraid of the height that you're in. Don't be afraid of what the ground looks like. Open up those wings and take the leap and flap and go and reach the stars.
Facts.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. You know, something I don't do very often, wrap it up. But
Wow. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how you know this is a rolling episode.
Yeah. But
Wow. How the hell? No, hold on. How the hell you go through all this on this episode and then you hit it with that?
I love y'all. I love everybody listening. I love everybody tuning in.